So you're thinking about moving to Hayward, but you're not sure which neighborhood is right for you. Today, I'm going to focus on one area you might not know much about, but it really has a lot to offer. I'm talking about the neighborhoods along Mission Boulevard between Industrial Parkway and Whipple Road. This includes Fairway Park, Fairway Greens, and Twin Bridges. If you look at neighborhood maps online, a lot of websites just refer to this as Fairway Park. This was actually one of the areas my family and I were interested in ourselves when we were moving from the peninsula to the East Bay. So I know firsthand why people look here and what makes it appealing. Geographically, this area sits in South Hayward, just north of Union City. It's not part of Garin or the hillside neighborhoods, but rather the flat suburban pocket right along Mission. One of the big reasons why we personally looked into this neighborhood was because at that time I was working in South San Francisco. Having Industrial Boulevard right there meant I had a backroad shortcut to the San Mateo Bridge without being stuck on 880. And that was a huge plus for the commute. When you look at this pocket as a whole, a lot of maps and websites just call it Fairway Park. But for buyers, it helps to break it down a bit because within Fairway Park, you'll find sections that feel different in terms of home style, lot sizes, and even age. Fairway Greens is made up of smaller single-family homes on tighter lots. They're practical, manageable, and appeal to buyers who want a home without a lot of yard maintenance. Fairway Park sits right next to it, and while the homes were built about the same time mid-century period as Fairway Greens, the lots are generally larger and the neighborhood has a bit more variety in layouts. So while both areas share that 1950s, 1960s construction era, Fairway Park feels a little more spacious overall. Then you've got Twin Bridges. This community came much later, mostly in the 1990s. Homes here are larger, more modern, and part of a planned development built around a golf course. Now, the golf course is not some private golf course, okay? It's just a public golf course. Then right next to it, the old bowling alley. This was redeveloped into new townhomes and condos. One of the key differences here is that Twin Bridges, including the condos and townhomes, comes with a homeowners association or HOA. That means monthly dues and rules to follow. For some buyers, the structure and upkeep that comes with an HOA is a plus. For others, it feels restrictive. They'd rather live in Fairway Park or Fairway Greens where there isn't an HOA telling you, what you can and can't do with your property. Altogether, this area gives you a mix of styles, lot sizes, and layouts, from smaller single-family homes to more spacious mid-century properties to larger, newer homes with HOA oversight. So what are the pros and cons of this area? One of the biggest pros is location. You're in South Hayward right next to Union City and just minutes from Fremont. And it's not just about being close. You've got options for how to get around. That backroad connection I mentioned earlier, along with Industrial Boulevard, gives you a way to get to the San Mateo Bridge without being stuck on 880. And if you head south on Mission Boulevard, you can also cut into Fremont while avoiding a good chunk of the freeway traffic. Now, I don't want to mislead you when it comes to traffic. There's still traffic. It's just usually less of it compared to being stuck on 880. So what you're really getting is flexibility, not a traffic-free experience. Another plus is lifestyle. You've got a strong presence of Asian markets and restaurants nearby, which makes the food scene diverse and vibrant. And being close to Union City means shopping conveniences and entertainment are all just around the corner. Now, for the trade-offs, homes in this pocket can be competitive. Twin Bridges in particular is well over the $1 million mark, and even Fairway Park and Fairway Greens, they've seen prices climb. And because Mission Boulevard runs right along the edge of these neighborhoods, some homes closer to the main road will pick up more traffic noise as opposed to those ones tucked further inside. Schools are also somewhat of a factor. Public school zoning here can vary depending on your exact address. Some parts of this pocket might fall into the New Haven Unified School District, which means James Logan High School in Union City could be your high school option. But other parts are also served by the Hayward Unified School District with high schools like Hayward High, Tennyson, and Mount Eden. So the takeaway is don't assume every home here automatically goes to James Logan. You'll definitely want to check the specific address to see which school boundary it falls into. On the private school side, you've got Moreau Catholic School, a well-regarded prep school right on Mission Boulevard. And for younger grades, St. Clement Catholic School serves TK through 8th grade just around the corner. Or actually, it's right next to it. These private options gives families additional flexibility, although of course they come with higher tuition. The area isn't short on parks. Fairway Park itself has a neighborhood green space, and just up the street you'll find Garin Regional Park, which offers hiking trails, open space, and great views of the bay. And if you're into more challenging hikes, Mission Peak in Fremont is only a short drive away. It's one of the most popular hiking spots in the East Bay, and the panoramic views at the top is a true payoff. Between these parks, the local shops, and nearby Union Landing and Union City, you won't feel cut off from services, entertainment, or outdoor recreation. Let's talk safety. Now, let's be real, Hayward as a whole gets a bad rap when it comes to crime. A lot of that comes from people who don't live here or only know the city from headlines. To put numbers behind that, overall, Hayward ranks around the 35th percentile for safety nationwide. That means it's safer than about 35% of US cities, but less safe than most. For property crime, the city is closer to the 25th percentile, and for violent crime, it's around the 27th percentile. But not every part of Hayward fits that mold. In this pocket along Mission, between Industrial and Whipple, is a very different story. According to Crime Grade, Fairway Park is in the 84th percentile for safety in the nation. That means it's actually safer than 84% of US neighborhoods, a big contrast to Hayward overall. Now, of course, this is still the Bay Area, so you want to pay attention to your surroundings. But overall, this is one of those parts of Hayward where people feel comfortable putting down roots, and it really breaks the stereotype the city sometimes gets. To wrap it up, if you're looking in Hayward, the Fairway Park area is worth a closer look when your budget is somewhere around, 900,000 all the way up to 1.5 and above. Because here, whether you want something more modest, a classic mid-century home, or the upscale, newer stuff with HOA oversight, you'll find it all in this pocket of neighborhood. Now, if you're serious about making a move, I've got a couple of free resources that can really help you get started. One is my first-time homebuyer's guide, which walks you through the entire process step by step. The other is my home tour checklist, so when you're out there looking at properties, you know exactly what to look for, and both are free. Just reach out to me and I'll get them to you. Hey, I'm Mac Rogers. Thanks for watching.